Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be featuring some battles using LYCANROC. LYCANROC is one of the new Alola Pokemon that is now eligible in the Love Cup. It wasn't originally eligible, but some changes were made and Niantic did allow it to get in. It has access to Counter, Psychic Fang, and Stone Edge, and mine's a pretty good rank one. It's like rank 140. It has 6, 12, and 15 IVs as noted there. Overall, I think I went 11 and 9 with 11 and 9 with this team. So there's definitely some struggles with it. Lycanroc is extremely glassy, and as well. But one match I did lag out. I should have had the move, and then the one other match I gave it to my opponents because they were lagging significantly. But I was definitely going to win that match. So overall, I would have won like 13 and 7. If you want to see the battles, you can go ahead and check them out on Twitch. I'm going to be showing off the two sets, which is the first and last set that I did. The first one I went 3 and 2. Another one I went 5 and 0. So. This team does struggle where there's like significant like fast move pressure and there's no like resistance, or even honestly even a Talonflame lead is not so easy with this team. And obviously I have two Pokemon in the back that handle Lycanroc's probably biggest counter, which is Medicham. Alola, also a very common pick, is also a struggle for this Pokemon. But let's go ahead and get started and see how we do in these battles. So we have Lycanroc into Electrode. So it's good to see here, but still kind of an awkward situation here. So Lycanroc does win CMP, so I do expect them to throw the discharge right away. And the Psychic Fang doesn't do that much damage, but it does drop the defense, which is obviously very nice. I was actually hoping that could counter down here. But it's definitely not going to be the case. I could have did one more counter there, but there was like a little bit of lag after the charge move, so I didn't want to get I didn't want to have to shield again unnecessarily. So I let this go so that I can Poison Sting down, and then they come into Talonflame, which is not great for me. I do throw the cross poison. I think I throw 2 cross poisons here. I throw the second cross poison here, and then they're like 1 away from the flame charge. So I'm gonna try to catch this flame charge, and I do have some like fast move, like charge move pressure because I'm like really close to their move. So I'm assuming they're gonna throw flame charge. Hopefully no Brave Bird, and then unfortunately they have Scrafty in the back, which is very terrible for me. Unfortunately, I think do I let this go? I let this go because, like, realistically, my only chance to win here is to call a bait or something. I think they end up shielding. No, they actually don't end up shielding. And I was really hoping that they were going to foul play me right here. But, of course, they're just going to power punch. I'm quite low at this point in time. And there's not really too much I can do in this scenario. So, but really my only realistic win con here is to hope that they power punch bait. So I end up letting this go. I probably could have shielded there and like threw the move, but then they would just have a shield for the Talonflame. I would have to eat like 3 or 4 Incinerates, which is just like no way I could be able to win that match. So we have Lycanroc into Talonflame. This is where you want to see it, but obviously they resist counter. So this is an awkward situation for me here. So I don't want to go into Slowbro because I don't want to eat a Night Slash, but I also need to chip it. So I do end up chipping it, and I let this go. I'm assuming it's going to be a Dragon Claw. They end up throwing the Night Slash, and I throw here, predicting that they're not going to shield. Maybe I could did one more Poison Sting, because I end up eating the damage anyways. I do get the boost, which is quite nice. And I'm going to throw after 4 Cross Poisons, which does mean I give up 1 turn here, and that does quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, I'm not. Oh, actually, I'm able to make the move. That's actually really nice there. And what happened here? I let this go. If they would honestly, if they would have Brave Bird me right here, this probably would have came pretty close to KOing. You can see how much the flame charge did. And unfortunately, they have a Scrafty again in the back. So this is quite challenging for me. I was hoping it was going to be a Metacham in the back, but it ends up being a Scrafty. I do end up shielding the foul play, so very fortunate for me that they did not bait there. I think they actually, so they have enough for the foul play because they did 2 counters. I got the move. They did 4. Unfortunately, they bait me. It doesn't really make that big a difference, to be honest. Well, I take a little bit more counter damage, but it's not really too much different from here. I was actually hoping to switch. I guess if they didn't bait me, I would have been able to switch. But unfortunately, I'm way too low at this point in time. I guess if I would have called the power up punch me, I had a chance there. But as you can see, LYCANROC super glassy, just fainting to a non-boosted flame charge. So really not off to a great start. I had playable matchups there, but my opponents just played really well there. I'm still getting used to the team as well. So we do run into a Talonflame, and they switch out into Metacham. Honestly, here I should have switched. I should have went to Slowbro. This is the reason why I debated having Metacham instead of Slowbro on this team, but I figured I was too weak to Metacham. So I end up calling the bait here, which actually was really huge for me. And I basically try to CMP tie with this Metacham. This doesn't KO. I'm assuming if they no shield it, this is going to be the Psychic because they have enough energy for it. And I will shield because I do expect it to be a Scrafty in the back. So I'm looking to immediately swap to save as much health as possible. They end up coming to Scrafty, but this is quite okay for me. I end up getting to the Water Pulse. They end up foul playing me. They will be able to counter me down. Which is not the best situation, but certainly not the worst. They actually end up taking the Water Pulse, which is actually really huge for me. I think I throw the cross. Okay, I don't know why I didn't register the cross poison there for me, but that's okay. I throw the cross poison. I built up a little bit of energy before throwing. I don't expect them to shield, and then I'm gonna immediately swap. I'm gonna do 4 counters, then throw the Psychic Fang, which is just right before they get to the move. So they are gonna throw the Flame Charge. I end up no shielding this. If they would have Brave Bird me, I definitely would have lost the game. So they did go over. So I'm gonna do 2, then throw. So I'm in a decent spot. They correctly no shield the first one, but I'm just going to be able to apply too much pressure. They have the move here. I do win CMP with Ariados versus the Talonflame, so I'm not too concerned here. I'm just going to do 2 counters, take the Incinerate damage, throw the Psychic Fang. They have to shield this, and then this Cross Poison is going to do more than enough to take out the Ariados. A little bit risky play by me, because if I would have lagged there by like 4 turns, then I would just got fainted by the Incinerate, but end up working out okay for me. So it's definitely strong against the Talonflame lead, but you'll see a little bit later on that when the Talonflame Brave Birds a LYCANROC, it does a tremendous amount of damage. All right, we're going to have LYCANROC into Ariados, and this is okay. I resist the poison stings. They double resist the counters through the bug and poison typing. The Psychic Fang is super effective. In my opinion, they shouldn't shield. Just because Psychic Fang is like a pretty low base power move. They end up lunging. It actually does way more damage than I had anticipated. And this is a cross poison, so it definitely doesn't KO. Because we would have CMP tied, I would have won CMP. So at this point in time, I'm just going to go for the Stone Edge. I know I'm going to be able to reach in 4. So this is CMP tie to the cross poison. And I end up KOing. And I think they come into Electrode. Yeah, they come to Electrode. I get 2 counters off. Not a big deal here. And they come into Alola Mola. And this is pretty much GG here, right? Not really too much the opponent can do. They end up throwing the Psychic, hoping for the defense drop. Because Hydro Pump definitely much more energy efficient, and they end up leaving the match. So not really too playable on their side. I think they played it out Just they should have lunged. They should have committed to lunge because the second Psychic Fang wouldn't have KO'd either. It would have been like does like probably like 45% or something like that. Non debuffed, and that's why I got lunge, so it's like basically neutral. Okay, so this is obviously a very bad lead. I do switch to Ariados here because Slowbro is my hard counter. They come into Talonflame, and I'm going to try to throw a good timing. I do farm up quite a bit of energy. I am going to try to play the one shield with this Ariados. I think I tried to deny there, but that's kind of a... I think I tried to throw there just because they do have the move, and I was hoping it to be CMP, but they ended up just sneaking an extra move in. But that's fine. They're going to farm me down. I would have got another move off anyways, and I end up getting the shield, which is what I wanted. So I'm hoping that they throw a flame charge at me, and that they try to get to the Brave Bird afterwards. Is really my hope, because they're at 100 energy, and I was sure I was going to counter them, going to be able to counter them down in 3 counters, but then they ended up throwing back-to-back flame charges, and yeah, it actually would have actually made it to the move. So they come into Skoropi here, which is very fortunate for me, and they end up throwing in the middle of the confusion, so I actually get an extra one through. And this is a very good situation for me. They actually will be able to survive a confusion. I'm going to do two confusions, then throw the move. That's like optimal timing against 4 versus 3. Because essentially it's like 8 turns, and they get 9 turns, but I get the charge move. So I'm going to do 2 confusions here. Again, they get three waterfalls. But again, it's like the optimal least amount of moves that they can get through. I end up shielding this. I have a Psychic Fang banked, so I just need to chip it away. But really, there's no way they can take me out. And honestly, Slowbro was the MVP of this team. It definitely carried me. There was definitely a lot of teams weak to Slowbro, and yeah, ended up being pretty okay for me. So that previous set, I went 3-2 in the first set. That was just like the previous set to the last one. So this is the start of the second set I'm going to be showing, which is ended up being the 4th set I did on stream. So this is a very, very good lead for me. They end up having a rock throw. So I do expect them to be double charm. And I throw the Stone Edge. Maybe a mistake, but this does like a lot of damage to Wigglytuff. And I do expect it to be double charm. So I'm actually going to commit to the full farm down. And I'm going to throw the cross poison, and I'm just going to throw as many cross poison as possible. I don't throw the lunge because they are fire and rock type, and they're fire and rock type, and so they double resist bug. So, and they only single resist poison because of the rock typing. So this should take a shield, and it does. And they're trying to farm me down, which is kind of crazy. They end up burning the second shield, and I actually end up getting a double boost. So I'm just gonna chip it away. These poison stings did a lot of damage, and then as well. Now I'm just gonna land the Psychic Fang just to drop their defense. But there's realistically no way I can lose this matchup. At this point in time, the only way they could have won this matchup is if I had a Scrafty in the back, right? Because even if I had a Metachamp, I would have made it to an Ice Punch. If I would have had, I don't know, even the Drudagon, then the Dragon Claw, plus the Dragon Tails, plus the debuff, or I guess the Night Slash, not the Dragon Tail, Dragon Claw, would have been enough to KO. So really, like Scrafty was like the only one that I wouldn't. Maybe even a Scrafty could probably KO at that health range. So this is obviously a very bad lead. So I go to Slowbro, which is my safe swap. They come into Electrode, and I end up getting Confusion through. I know I can survive this. They end up getting a Volt Switch through, which is terrible for me because they end up no shielding this. This is such a gutsy play by the opponent, but it ended up working out for them. And I'm going to go to Ariados here because I do want the energy, and I should be able to take it out with 2 Poison Stings. And we'll see what they come in with. This is a very weird game here. Maybe they had a Charmer in the back. I'm not entirely sure. They end up throwing the. I think at this stage, I only viewed my potential win con by calling a bait here. Like I didn't view it as like a way for me to win unless they baited me. And I'm gonna throw it 5, just to CMP tie to the psychic. Because if they no shield this, I expect them not to bait. I end up shielding this. They end up baiting here. Very weird. I'm not sure whether that it must have been a charmer. I don't know what else would be that weak to Aridos up a shield. It had to be a charmer, right? It was the only realistic Pokemon that I could beat in the back down a shield with Aridos. I guess I had like a full health Lycanroc. Yeah, but like the Lycanroc and Aridos is a very weird chord. So they have Incineroar here, which is a very spicy pick. These counters are doing a tremendous amount of damage. I will shield this because the Dark Pulse would hurt because Lycanroc is made of more like Lycan paper. And they come into Aridos. This is actually really good for me. I'm hoping to grab a shield. And then I'm going to switch to Slowbro. And I get a confusion through, which is, well, I guess they actually threw in the middle because they did 3 poison stings. And they actually throw the cross poison, which was a very weird play. It doesn't KO, and I'm just barely able to survive, which is actually super nice for me. It's nice and not nice in the sense that like their Incineroar will now be able to get free Snarl in. I'm gonna wait the clock out fully, and they need 3 more to get to the next one, so I'm gonna do 4 counters, then throw the Psychic Fang. I actually don't know if the Psychic Fang would KO since it is it's double resisted. So I end up shielding this. They actually end up throwing the Flame Charge, which is an interesting choice. They end up coming into a Alola. I throw the Stone Edge, and this is a really good situation for me because Stone Edge does a tremendous amount of damage. And I could have threw it a better time, but what I really wanted to do is make sure that I debuff them before I ended up missing a bubble, before they got to a Psychic. So I could have did like through like a CMP tied them, but it ended up working out fine. I'm gonna be able to farm down, and I have the lunge ready to take them out. So Incineroar is a very, very, very spicy pick. I don't think Incineroar is like it because suffers the same problem as Lycanroc. Like Alola, Medicham are like 2 of the best Pokemon in the meta, and it actually probably has like a third problem in the sense that like Talonflame is also really strong in the meta. So it'd be very difficult to. So here comes the Talonflame, and they actually come into Wiggly. I expect them to. I wasn't actually sure what they're gonna have here, so I actually don't want them to farm me down with Talonflame. So I actually purposely lose this matchup. I could have maybe thrown there and then threw a bunch of moves at the Talonflame, but I didn't. Honestly, the Brave Bird does so much damage. So they actually come into Medicham, which I actually don't mind, to be honest, because first off, they're really going to be hesitant to switch in their Talonflame into Slowbro. So I throw this double Psychic Fang, and then I switch to Slowbro, and then now their defenses falls. You can see how much this confusion does to Medicham. And maybe I could have shielded this. They end up throwing the Ice Punch, and they come into Talonflame. They actually transfer the confusion over to Talonflame. And I'm in a pretty good spot. I'm going to shield it. I know they're just going to straight Flame Charge me. But I'm going to do 1 more confusion, then throw the Psychic. And that's just like optimal timing in terms of throwing when it's like a 4-turn versus a 5-turn. And they have the Flame Charge right now. And it's really hard to optimize on their side because I'm guaranteed to get 2 confusions if they throw 1 Flame Charge. So I should be able to farm down, and I'm gonna throw the Psychic, and I'm in a very good spot right now because they don't have that much energy on Medicham, and I win CMP. So unless they throw right here, they're not gonna be able to take me out. And maybe resisted Ice Punch would be pretty close there. So I end up winning that match. So they're very weak to Slowbro in the back, and I think I still end up making the correct call by not letting them farm down with Talonflame. Though, like, honestly, like Slowbro would have been able to clean up the back, which is why I think Slowbro is like the slow family is one of the safest in the meta. So pick up a nice lead again. But again, you'll see how much this Brave Bird does. And my plan here is if they Brave Bird me, I'm just gonna switch to Slowbro no matter what. They do end up Brave Birding, and you could see I'm in the red, and they come into a Lolamola, and I expect them to safe swap, and this ends up being a Psychic. So I'm going to do 2 Confusions. Again, 2 Confusions and throw the Psychic, which means I'll get 3 Waterfalls in, but I'll get 2 Confusions plus the charge move. And now they're at 3 Waterfalls. They need 4 more to get into the next one. So I am going to be able to farm them down. I do expect them to have a pretty hard answer here for Slowbro. They end up having Electrode. And the defense falling there is actually pretty fortunate for me. I really debated what the correct play was here. Because I have 2 shields. They have a decent amount of energy on their Electrode. They have like one short of they actually end up foul playing. So I end up building to the move here, and I throw the Psychic Fang. And my objective here is to just to drop their defense here, and I don't need to make it to the Stone Edge because I already have a Cross Poison banked. So, and this Cross Poison is definitely going to be more than enough. And Electrode needs to make it to 2 moves. I'll be able to live a Discharge if they even have Discharge. So they have the move here, but they know they need to double up because I have a shield, and I'm going to be able to take them out with this Cross Poison. So my thoughts on LYCANROC: super glassy. Honestly, like even against Talonflame, it wasn't really that good because you saw how much the Brave Bird does and gets outpaced. I think Slowbro is obviously really strong. Ariados was really strong. Maybe consider like LYCANROC Metacham and Slowbro as a replacement. I don't know. It's hard to say because there's definitely some counter switches that I really struggled against, and then as well Scrafty in the back ended up causing me a lot of problems. But I do think this team is decent. LYCANROC's okay, but I do think there's a lot of other stronger Pokemon in the meta. But anyways, I can leave there. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.